Welcome to the Universe is Talking podcast. I'm your host, King.
And I'm your host, Aja.
Today's episode is titled, Why Doesn't He or She Post You on Social Media?
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into this topic, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Maybe I should just, lay all my points out before you get started, because I have a feeling you have a lot to say, and I really don't. Because for me, this is a pretty simple thing. But you know what? Yeah, before we get into our points, let me just say that this is a really big deal right now. And by right now, I mean for the last, 5 to 10 years, where social media has taken up such a big part of our lives and our romantic lives and how we see dating and relationships in general. And couples are often living their relationship through social media. And we've talked about that on this podcast. I feel like, and something that I really love about our show is that so many things are intertwined. So it's related to a past topic, but we've talked about how social media plays such a big role in our lives and how sometimes it can impact the mental and emotional health of people because of what is and isn't happening. So I think this is just a caveat of that. But when it comes to relationships specifically, there are a lot of people who are using that platform to prove to the world that they have something and they have something substantial with their partner. And, I see a lot of articles and memes related to relationship goals where you see someone who is displaying a certain type of act or giving a certain type of gift or whatever, and, everybody else weighs in that they think that that's just, how relationships should be. But I feel like that's a picture of you. If you take a picture of yourself on a vacation, the picture that you show everybody is like with you with a beautiful surrounding and scenery behind you, but you don't show, like the dank, dark places that you had to walk through before you got there. Like no one sees that part. So I think that's often what showing relationships are like on social media, that no one gets to see everything surrounding that picture. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is bad, but the good picture also doesn't show whether it truly is good. So I just wanted to kind of add that that's my opinion about a lot of social media pressure to show relationships. And I guess I'll go with my first point about why he or she may not be showing, but I'll say specifically like why isn't he posting you? And number one, he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to.
You goddamn right I don't want to. You are goddamn right.
He could be an asshole.
I am. I sure
am. But it could also be that he's just extremely private to the point that he's secretive. And I have my thoughts about that that we could probably get into a little bit later. But I think that a lot of times he or she just doesn't want to, but specifically I see it more case of men that he just doesn't, he's just not with that social media thing and he just doesn't care. Point blank period.
Because it doesn't mean anything to us.
Mm-hmm.
Posting you on social media don't mean anything to us. It doesn't do anything for us. That's your thing.
No,
now, yeah, we
my
may
thing.
Not you as in you. I'm talking to them.
Okay.
Now, of course, he might break his own rules and do it from time to time, but it's still not his thing. He's just doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a very serious topic for me And because of that, I'm going to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on this topic. So, the first reason that I have that he isn't posting you on social media, he loves you. And he doesn't want anything to happen to you. Him not posting you on social media is for your safety. Years ago, he fought in the war. It was kind of like the Civil War, and he's still traumatized from that experience. Things got kind of bad in the war. There was casualties on both sides, but it was also some survivors. So he don't post you because he don't want you to get kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
He can't post you. He'll be putting you in danger. So suppose something happened to you and you get kidnapped. Now he got to make a decision on if you want to pay the ransom money to get you back, or if he's just going to let you stay with them so he don't have to hear your mouth no more. That could be a tough call because he told you in the very beginning of the relationship that he wasn't with all of the social media games. But you kept asking, you kept complaining. So finally he gave in and he posted you on social media, and now you got your ass kidnapped. Now, I know some people that they'll probably let you sit for 24 to 48 hours, let you be a hostage just to teach you a lesson. For those men, they could get some good sleep. They could go out and party. They could go to the strip club and have a good time. And they don't have to worry about coming home too late. And then after they had their money, the 48 hours is up, then they'll go ahead and post and pay the ransom money. That's the number one reason why a man won't post his woman on social media.
It's kind of extreme, but I can see it. I mean, I think that it's probably not, it's not always as intense as that in regards to safety. But I know that for me, I'm protective of my children because they're children and they often don't make the best decisions for themselves. So I limit access to my children. The world doesn't need to know where they go to school. They don't need to see their faces, especially like the public. So there are certain places where I may share something about my children on social media, but it's with a select group of people that I've kind of vetted. But like on public platforms, no, like no one's going to see that. Ultimately, I'm protective of my marriage on public platforms as well. And there's only so much that anybody would know about me. They know I'm married. And some people may not, because it's not anything that I am constantly sharing that I'm married. You know, I am, so I don't have to tell anybody over and over that I'm married. You know, like there may be certain aspects of my relationship that I'll share just because, but the vast majority of it, no, like you don't have access inside my home. You don't know what we do day to day. You don't even know what we are talking about. Like you don't know anything about my marriage. So that's just how I am. And it's, when you say protect, I'm more protective of who we are than necessarily his physical presence. Because to me, that's a given. But I feel like I'm more protective of who we are. No one needs to know who we are. No one needs to have access to our relationship. No one needs to know even that we really exist. So maybe I mean, people know and I share, but how much they know about that is very limited. And the reason why, and this kind of goes into one of my next points, is that we're secure. And I'm not saying that people who share a lot of who they are on social media or share at all aren't secure, but I would say because we are secure and just the type of person that he and I are, we don't need we don't need to share it because what we have exists in real life. So social media isn't where we live. It's not our house. It doesn't pay any, well, to a degree, social media helps me to pay some bills, but my product is what's paying the bill. Social media is just a medium in which I use, but he and I in our relationship don't pay the bills, so we don't have to share that there. And
from me knowing you, you do a great job of being protective of your marriage, of your kids, of your family life.
Thank you. Yeah, it's important to me because I'm a private person naturally. It's a natural thing for me. Honestly, the way that I am generally is no one would know anything about me. Nothing. Like absolutely nothing about me.
I remember when you were that way.
All right. But, someone, you and several other people who wanted me to grow in my business said, you kind of have to come out a little bit. And so I did. I came out a little bit, but I learned how to come out and also keep the very most important things to me close to my chest and not allow anyone into that, because this world that I live in and I love and the people that I love in it mean so much to me. And you all out there, that's none of your business. I like you. Some of you I really love, but it's not your business what's happening in my house and in my home. I'm fine. I'm happy. We're happy. My children are happy and healthy. We're all good, but you don't have to know every single part of that. And so that is why I don't care whether my husband posts me on social media or not, because he shows me that he loves me every single day, all day long, in what he does and what he says and all of that. So social media has nothing to do with that. However, he does occasionally post me. He occasionally engages with me he doesn't treat me like I'm not there. We are connected on platforms that he's a part of. So there are no secrets. It's not our relationship. So we just don't utilize it in that way. So that's where, what I think about that. I wanted to go to my next point though, because that kind of brings me to another point.
Okay.
Is it cool?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm with you.
Okay. So he's my husband and has been it'll be 17 years this year. We've been together, it'll be 20 years this year. We're solid as a rock. And I know there's some people in a similar situation as far as how long they've been with their lovers. And then they may not be solid, but I can honestly say my husband and I are we're very solid. There's no situation that we have going on that precludes us from being able to share who we are to each other. But the next point is that some people can't share because of their situation. So they may be married or involved with someone else. And the reason why he is not sharing you is because you aren't his woman. And you don't know it. Or you do. The reality is you may know that you're not his woman and that you're another woman in his life, and you don't have a right to be there on the social media page, but you're feeling some kind of way about it because you done caught feelings and he's telling you whatever, or maybe it's you that's saying whatever, and maybe that is why you're in that position. But a lot of the times women find out that over time, because he's not allowed you into that portal of his world, that the cause and the reason behind that is because you're not who you think you are. And so he cannot show the world who you are or what you guys are doing because he has another situation going on, and it would blow up the whole thing. I think that is a big reason why some people don't get that exposure on social media that they want.
Oh, no, not at all. Mm-mm.
You don't think that's a big reason at all?
Very unlikely that happens. It's very unlikely that a man is married and has another woman, and that's the reason why he's not posting the other woman. That's very unlikely because men don't cheat. At least not any man that I have ever encountered in my life. And men just don't cheat. We are very connected beings to our women. Mm-hmm. We want her. We want only her. And we wouldn't dare allow another her to come into that space.
I see. But that's a lie. Okay. So, I was thinking this morning when I was preparing, but not really preparing because I only have a few points. So,
but wait. Before you go into that, though, I do want to say for when the reason is that man is not posting her because he's married, in a situation where the other woman knows that he's married, it always bugs me out that she seems to forget that he's married and start making all of these weird requests like, post me on your social media. You know he can't do that.
Well, plan. So here's the lie that some women tell themselves, most women in that predicament tells themselves, is that they can handle it. And they cannot handle it because sex, orgasms, okay. So when you're in a relationship with someone who's in a marriage or full-time relationship with someone else, the time that you spend with them is so pocketed that you really only get the good parts of them because you don't have to deal with them day to day. You don't have to stress yourself out about how you're paying the bills, like where he's going and all of that, because you are the other person and you get this very targeted time that's usually sexual, and that kind of thing makes you feel good. All of the sneaky texts and all of that, those types of things, are pleasurable for a period of time. And so you get so involved and wrapped up in this person thinking that what you have with them is special and you're special, because a lot of men will tell a woman that she is who they really want to be with because everything with her is perfect, but the woman that he's actually living with and living his life with, perfect. And I've said this on this show. Here's my thing, and I said it. Actually, I've actually counseled women on this reality. Women who seem to think something that married men or involved men liking them is a good thing, and it's not. Of course he likes you. Of course he wants you. There's no trouble with you. There's no accountability with you. He does not have to manage and live life with you. All he has to do is have sex with you. He can talk about lighthearted things with you, of course, because he's not living life with you. Imagine switching places then and becoming that main woman and having the type of man who leaves and doesn't come back for some time and has no good explanation for where he went. Imagine what kind of woman you would become if you were that person now, if you were the wife who had the husband who was leaving and creeping out. Come on now, he didn't just start with you. He's been up to this for a while. So, of course, he's stressing her the fuck out.
Some women are so tired of their husbands that they would happily give him away to the other woman.
You know what? I think that is true, but I also think that even those tired women have felt like they've invested so much with this man that they don't want to lose. We talked about that. They don't want to lose this man to this other, invisible and sometimes not so invisible woman. But let me try to stay on track because I know I have the inclination to, keep on going somewhere else. My point here, though, is what is my point? my point here is that they get so caught up in this good feeling that they forget that the good feeling is because they're the extra. They're not supposed to go through the relationship. He does not want you for a relationship. He may not even think you'd be good for a relationship. He may only think that you're good for sucking his dick. Excuse my language, y'all. But that is the truth. He may only see you as being a fuck piece. And he treats you very good for your position. And he expects you to stay in that position.
Yes,
even if
third
he likes
string
talking
quarterback.
to you.
That's your position.
Oh, gosh. Even if he likes talking to you, don't get it twisted. Talking to is not living life with. They're two separate categories. So don't get, all feeling all good because he says that I'm intelligent and he likes having conversations with me. Okay. But does he want to spend his life with you? No, he doesn't. You want to know why? How I know? Because he isn't. He isn't. Men do what they want to do. When a man wants something, he does it. He gets it. When he does it, he won't. So if you're in this position on the side, you're on the side because that's where he wants you. So the reason why he's not posting you is because you're on the side. There's no plan. There's no aspiration for you to be in the middle, in the front. He doesn't want you there. That's not your role. Be in your role. And the reason why you don't want to stay in your role is because he's giving you too many toe-curling orgasms. You've lost your mind, and you think you're very special, and you are to him.
He may even be paying some bills, because some men do that with the other
Because
women.
he wants you to be quiet, and he wants you amenable, and he wants you to stay happy. And he might even care about you a tad. But it is not at the level in which he is caring for and providing for and being there for emotionally for his life partner. Now, is he being good to his life partner by having this side situation? Probably not, depending on what their arrangement is. You don't know what their arrangement is, to be honest. She could be totally fine with it. The rules are that, whatever you do has to stay on the side. And here you are thinking you're going to move into the main spot. No, he's happy because he has a woman who understands. And he can have his cake and eat it too. You just don't know. Because what did I say on Twitter last week? Nobody knows what happens between a married couple. Their rules are their rules. You don't know their rules. So anyway.
Yeah, and speaking of that tweet, when that married couple puts their marriage on social media, single people
themselves up.
Or whoever, I shouldn't even just say single people, just anybody outside of those married people need to mind their business because they have no idea of what's being said or actually being put out there for them to see. Because your tweet just reminded me of a man tweeting his wife and saying whatever he was saying, but suggesting that he wanted to meet up with her. And somebody on the outside of the situation looked in and said, "Aren't you a married man?" And the guy said, "Yeah, I am. And since you've been investigating everything so much, I would have thought you would have noticed that the woman I tweeted was my wife."
Right.
In other words, mind your business.
Here's the thing about that, because, I agree. I co-sign. Minding your business is free. I'm a big supporter of minding your business. Here's the disadvantage, though, of sharing, of the couple doing what they did. They allowed themselves to be scrutinized. They put their relationship out in the open for someone else to see it and to misunderstand what they were doing and to then, have a judgment about it. And I think that that's another reason why, not that I care what anybody thinks, to be honest, but I would say it's a very small thing where I say to myself, Do I even want to share this? Because it ain't nobody's business. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, but hold on to that one. Hold on to that one.
Okay.
So, well, your second reason was actually my last reason, but I have another one that I wasn't going to share. But being that you covered my last reason, I'll throw in a different one. But the second reason that I have for why a man will not post his woman on social media is because he has a crazy ex or a crazy baby mother. They haven't been together for some years now, but she's still out for revenge. When they were together, she already tried to kill him twice for some strange reason because he didn't do anything to her. He didn't do anything at all, but she tried to kill him. And when they broke up, she told him, whatever bitch you think you're going to be with, she's going to know about me. He thought it was a joke, so he called her bluff. But she wasn't playing. So after a while, he started dating, of course, and he started testing the waters with somebody else. He was on Twitter making posts with hashtag date night. He was tagging the woman that he was seeing at that time. He had her @name in the tweet. He had her picture on there. He was even putting the names of the restaurants that they were out at. Well, one night, while he was out to dinner with the new woman, the ex popped up. He thought she was out on a date. He thought it was just a coincidence. They picked the same spot to go to for that particular night. But she wasn't out on a date. She was alone. So she walked through the entrance of the restaurant. She gave the receptionist his name, and she walked over to the table with him and a new woman. And she pulled a gun out on the woman. She looked her in her eyes and she said, "This is my man. And unless you're willing to die over him, I suggest you leave right now." Needless to say, the new woman ran out of the restaurant and he hasn't heard from her ever since. So the man in that situation changed the way he moved, and he vowed to never post anything on social media about him and a woman ever again.
What a story.
Real story. It's a true story.
I believe it's a true story. I think that is probably the case in some cases, but I also think that in those situations, the man, so here's my thought about men who have messy exes and baby mothers.
Crazy exes and baby mothers.
But I also think that there is a way in which he moves that likely is the cause of this drama. I have found that the couple of men that I know that are in this situation often don't end relationships in such a way that it's clear that it's ended when it ended, because he does a lot of coming back and forth, which creates an emotional turmoil inside this woman, whether it be just an ex or the woman who gave birth and is raising his child or children. Either or, he's not clean in the cut in the first place. And we could talk about that. Should be like a topic, because I think that the way in which people break up have a large impact on how they're able to move on. And women find it very hard to move on when you don't just end it and be done. But when you end it, but then, you call and you still text and you still coming over to fuck. And if I call and, like I'm the woman who you broke up with and I'm still texting and you still responding, and then I say I miss you, and then you fall for it, and then you over, and then we're back in the cycle. But all the problems that was there before are still there because, you ain't really changing. So I'm going to go crazy again over this problem. This is why they become crazy, because you stay in this mess. I'm speaking to men who have these exes that just can't seem to get it together because you keep fucking around. You don't break it off. You're not done. You need to be done. You need to be done when you say you're done. Stop going back and forth. Love was not enough the first time. Love ain't going to be enough the second time, the third time, the fourth time. It's over. Be done. Then you have breakups that are clean. Okay? You have breakups that are clean. And you don't have people sitting there stalking you 3, 4, 5 years later. Because it was done. And you gave them the opportunity to heal. But when you keep going back and forth, they're never healing. Because you're still there. You're still there, reminding them of the issue, then making them get all hopeful again. And then when you do the thing that pissed them off the first time, they're right back to feeling the way they felt. And then, you guys are fighting again. And it's just a mess. Be done. And you'll have cleaner experiences. I don't have no drama with not one ex.
You better not.
No drama. I believe you.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, on this show, what I was going to say, because that just had me thinking about this morning when I was in preparation. Please let me finish this time.
You got it.
And I was thinking about like Sports Center or what's the show that's on TNT right before the games? I don't know if there's a name for it, but like with Kenny and
with Shaq and Barkley.
Yeah, but
I know what you're talking about.
Those types of programs, like where you had a commentator sitting down, even in football, there's always like a real serious commentator, the one who's kind of like leading the discussion and keeping things moving. He's like the bad guy because he's straightforward. He doesn't really like cause any type of ruffles, and he doesn't make any types of jokes, okay? But then you have like the guy who's like fun and, like Chuck. Chuck says something crazy, and then, like Kenny like brings it back. And then what's the other one? The white guy with the bald head.
Ernie, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And he's the main one that just kind of keeps things stabilized. on this show, I'm like the equivalent of Ernie and maybe Kenny.
Yeah, you're the main one for sure.
Yeah, the one. Well, we're both, because it's just the two of us. We're both really the main ones, but the role.
No, I said you're the mean one.
Whatever. The roles that we play is that I'm the serious one and kind of keeps things balanced to your comedy. And I know that a lot of our listeners have given a lot of feedback about that comedy that you share, and I love it. I love that we have this balance on this show. Just absolutely love it. I just wanted to say that before we kept going into the next point. So did you have another point?
You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You go ahead.
All right, so this is my last one, and I'm switching this one around to why she doesn't post him on social media. Better yet, why he don't follow her on social media and she don't follow him on social media, and they've been together for years, and there has been no type of social media presence between the two of them at all. The reason why is she has a man, not him, the one that's not getting posted on social media. I'm talking about her real man that probably is getting posted on social media. Or if he's not getting posted, he's at least following her. She cannot dare post another man on her social media hugged up out on dates with that other man because her real man is watching. The same way that women think men don't post them because they have a woman, that's what some women are doing as well.
Well, yeah.
Just like the man is probably married, the woman is probably married, and she can't post anything on social media either. Now, in your scenario, the man's time was a little more sparing, but I've seen married women have a lot of time to give because the man doesn't think that his wife would dare step out on him. So the married woman can give the other man a lot more time than a married man may be able to give his other woman. But although that woman is giving that man so much time, he is still not her man, her all, her everything. He's not the one that she's coming home to at night.
Right.
He's not coming home to her at night. They're not doing anything serious with each other. They're not even going out on vacation. There's nothing to show on social media. And of course the reason is because she's married or she's in a relationship with another man and she just can't put that out there. Now, as a man, you have a choice to make. You're either going to accept the quietness of not having your business out on social media, because that could be a blessing, having everything just between the two of you, other relationship, other marriage or not, that privacy between the two of you could be great. Or you could exit yourself out of the situation and get you somebody that's willing to post you on social media. And that goes for men and women. If a woman's with a man that's not into posting them on social media, but she wants to be with somebody that will post her on social media, go get you a man that's going to post you on social media. It's not that hard for you and him to end things, and then you can go get somebody that's going to post you on social media. If he's not posting you on social media, he don't care about you leaving him to go be with somebody that's going to post you on social media. Speaking for myself,
this is all logical, though. I mean, you make it seem like women are often creatures. I mean, yeah, we have logic,
but they need to hear it. They need to hear it. So
okay, I'm just saying. I thought we were having a conversation, so
we absolutely are. But during the time that I was single,
you're not single?
Don't worry about if I am or if I'm not. To be determined.
Don't get smart with me on this show.
I'm not actually talking to you. I'm talking to the people listening.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Don't worry about King.
I had somebody that was interested. That's why I asked.
Oh, I'm in a relationship.
Okay.
Yep, I'm in a relationship. I'm unavailable. And I'm going to be unavailable for about 30 years.
I see.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who are thinking right now that you're talking about them, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right.
No.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
All right, but in my time of being single, I became less willing to put up with the stupid shit. And the stupid shit is getting on my nerves about not posting you on social media. Go get somebody that will post you. I don't want to hear that shit. That's how a lot of men feel. For the man, let's bring it back around, but let's bring it back around to that man that's not getting posted, because I think men are dumber than women in some cases. Naive, let's use the word naive, when it comes to the fact that that woman actually has another man.
I can believe that.
Now, if that man that's not getting posted makes some noise about her not posting him, he's not ready to hear the truth. And as I'm saying this, and you and I shared this before, it amazes me how similar men and women can be in relationships. That man makes some noise to her about not posting him on social media. He's not ready to hear the truth. And the truth is, from her mouth, I can't post you because I have a man. He would be heartbroken and crushed. So either make a decision to stay in the situation and not get posted and accept that, or you're going to have to exit and go be with somebody that will post you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not getting what you need in a relationship, I think that there's I know that sometimes women and men have unrealistic expectations that no one can meet or very few people are able to meet. And so in every relationship, their expectations aren't being met. That's an extreme. But I think that there are some basic foundational expectations that we have that can help us to be, to feel desired and loved in a relationship. And if any of those types of expectations aren't being met, then the decision should be to not be in that relationship. But I find that when it comes to women, particularly because those are the people, women are who I speak to most of the time, that women particularly will start to demand the thing they want because they want it and they're in this relationship. And so they start to say, this is what I want. And after they say what they want, the man may say, okay, cool, I'll work on it. Because he wants to try to work on it, because he might actually like you or love you. So he says to himself, okay, I'll give this a shot. But the thing is, if he wasn't giving it to you in the first place, then likely it's just not his way. So then he may try, and so for a temporary amount of time, you're getting this attention that you've asked for, and you're happy, you know? And you're like bragging about, this is my boo, and blah, 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 and you tagging each other in pictures, or you know, you making little subliminal messages and posts about him, you know, to have, you know, people knowing that you got a boo and you're just waiting on him to, like, you know, respond and make it, you know, to kind of like join you on this venture. And he's just not there for it because that's not him. That was never him. And so now you got to say something again because he didn't respond in the way that, you know, he said that he would. So now you're asking him again. Now, once you get to the point where you've asked now again, and he says okay, and he disappoints you again, now you know this is not his thing, this thing that you're requesting, whatever it is, whatever your expectations and needs are. He can't meet them because it's not him. So sitting there begging him over and over, being aggressive or assertive, however you want to put it, over and over, the only thing it's doing is it's aggravating him, it's putting stress on him. He can't satisfy you because it's not in his nature, whatever the thing is that you need or want. It's not that he's a bad person, you know, unless of course he's doing all that side stuff and you just have no idea, and that's why. But if he's like genuinely like not the guy that's going to post you on social media for whatever reason, then other reason than cheating, then that's not him. So now you're unhappy and he's unhappy because all you do is complain about the thing that you want. So to King's point, leave, like be done, because why are the last recording that we did, or no, I think it actually is just the last podcast that just went live about sex ratings. I said, why are you having sex with someone you're not satisfied with? Why are you fucking men who are not pleasing you? Similarly, why are you in a relationship that is making you unhappy? Why? Why are you posting about how unhappy you are in your relationship? Why aren't you using the space, time, and energy that you're using posting? Instead of doing that, use it on getting out, breaking up, because you're not happy. And I don't want to hear about how unhappy you are when this is something you can solve. I know this is logic.
But social media want to hear all of it.
Well, you know what? I really don't. I don't want to hear it because it doesn't make me any. Never mind. This was one of my points actually. Was that so? Okay. I'm gonna make a point and then I have something else to say, and I don't know if you're going to have anything to say after that, but we could close it out essentially after this point. But one of the reasons why people don't post is also that they're not sure about you. Period. They're not sure whether they want to be with you, and they just may not even be sure about you in general. it's so early in the relationship that they don't feel safe and secure enough with what you have to start saying to people, we are something. And you're sitting there trying to rush that process, which only makes them more hesitant, because your reaction in response to needing something so minimal in a like something that's so not important in a relationship, your need for it, you're clamoring for it, now has them like, who the fuck is she? Like, why is she tripping about this? If she's tripping about this, she'll be tripping about something else. I don't know that I even want to deal with her. So one of the reasons is they're not sure about you, and you're not helping it by begging for this thing, by needing this validation, which brings me to, I guess, not really a point, but really an idea. Why do we need this? Why are we in such a rush to share our relationships with the world? What is that doing for you? I'm not saying that people who share are doing it for some ulterior motive. I'm saying, though, for the people who aren't doing it and are with someone who wants to do it, and that person who wants to do it is with someone who isn't, why is it important? What will you get out of that? What will the world, knowing that you are together and have something special, what is that going to do for your relationship? How is it making it better? How is it making it stronger? Who are you trying to convince? Why do they matter? Are they in the relationship with you? Are they paying you anything for this relationship? And why are we paying people? Why are we spending our time and getting all involved in people's marriages and relationships? Why are other people's relationships relationship goals? Why are they goals? Why does any of it matter? I want to know. I want to hear from you all. I want to know what this thing is, and maybe it's because I'm old school. You know, I'm what's generation Z or X?
Whatever it is.
I'm after the boomer, okay? And the boomer had such a large impact on me. I'm real old-fashioned. And so my relationship, my marriage started before this whole thing. And I'm just, you know, I think because of that, I don't have any type of bones in it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Our relationship is working whether social media knows about it or not. And having people say, oh, to my pictures, okay, that's sweet. But trust and believe, I don't need you all to like, love, and comment on my relationship in order for my relationships to be more real and stronger and more loving. I mean, you don't need to know any of that. It does not matter to me. So I want to leave this with the listeners. Why? Help me understand why social media matters when it comes down to your relationship. Please leave a comment below. Let us know. Please. I'd like to know.
In closing, I want to say, just because he posted her doesn't mean that he will post you. That's it.
That's it? You're leaving him like that?
I sure am. That's it.
Oh, okay. Thanks for listening to The Universe is Talking, as always. It's a pleasure to have you with us on this journey. If you have something to say about what King just left you with, or if you have any insight about our topic and why, you know, it matters that social media is involved in our relationships, please leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas about future topics, please leave that below in the comment section. In the meantime, be sure to like, follow, and share Until next time, love on each other.